this video, we will be replacing the brake pressure switch on the cruise control system in this 2001 Ford F150. Through the driver's side door, we need to pop the hood to gain access to the engine bay. Taking a look inside the engine bay, we want to be looking on the driver's side of the vehicle. We want to find the brake master cylinder reservoir. Once we have found the master cylinder reservoir, we can look directly in front of that and see the electrical connector that is connected to the brake pressure switch. If we take a close look at the electrical connector that goes to the brake pressure switch, I can see that there is brake fluid that is leaking out. This is not a good sign and very indicative of a failed seal, which could be a good reason why the cruise control system is not working properly. By grabbing and depressing both sides of the electrical connector, I can wiggle that free. My new brake pressure switch comes with a wiring harness. So as we get into this, we will see if we can switch out that wiring harness as well. Using a 14mm wrench, I'm going to see if I can loosen this without having to remove a lot of other components. As soon as I remove the old brake pressure switch, I'm going to replace it with the new brake pressure switch, as we are essentially opening up a hole into the braking system, so brake fluid will flow out. By replacing it with a new one, I can effectively seal that hole. I'm going to then tighten that down with a 22mm wrench, as the new one has a slightly different design than the old one. If I trace the old wiring harness, I can see that it is held in by some zip ties. So we're going to cut those zip ties to get this wiring harness out. And following that wiring harness back, we have a second zip tie that needs to be cut. And as we work out that wiring harness, we can see where it connects up with another connector. And we're going to depress the sides and wiggle that connector free. Now, our new wiring harness is significantly different than our old wiring harness. We do want to take a look at the actual connection points, and those are the same. I assume the old wiring harness looks like it is because Ford develops these to accommodate multiple styles and types of vehicles. But the important part is where it connects up in the vehicle is identical. Now, this connection point is keyed. I have a little tiny slot on the one side and a small protruding plastic piece on the other. Those need to line up with each other as we install this. On the brake pressure switch, we can then connect it until it snaps in place. And adding a couple zip ties will finish off the job. And lastly, we can test drive the vehicle and see if the cruise control is working properly.